All right, today we're looking at taxes and interest, which is actually kind of a tax is something that we really already know how to do. A tax is just, really, it's just like a markup. It gets added onto the final price, just like a markup does. So the tax is added on. It's an additional charge. So let's buy something kind of expensive. Let's go to the store, and it says that the price at the store is $9,450. So that's the amount. That's the sale price. So that's the amount that's after the discounts, after the store marks it up. That's the price that it says on the shelf when we pick it up and we go to buy it. The tax rate is the amount that the government charges for that business transaction. It's how the city pays for road work. It's how they pay for infrastructure. It's how they pay for like a Paul Brown Stadium. It's how they pay for like Great American Ballpark. It's how they pay for city services, like the police. It's all done by taxes. It also is for the government, like the much larger national government. It's how we pay for our military, how we pay for education. So that is our tax rate. In order to find how much our final price is going to be, we take the tax rate, 8%, and we want to know what 8% of that $9,450 is. Exactly like we did with the markup. We turn 8% into a decimal by moving it over two places, 1, 2. 8% of means multiply. $9,450. Now, in this unit, we do get to use a calculator. So that's nice. I'm going to do 0.08 times 9,450, which gives us $756. That number represents the tax. It is not the final price. It is not a discount. It is just the tax. To find the final price, I have to take the original price, $9,450, and then add the tax onto it. Which gives me $10,206. And that is my final total. That's how you find tax. Just find the percent of the number, then add it onto the original amount, and that'll give you your new total. Let's try another one. Let's buy a car. Let's say that we're going to buy a car. We've negotiated the price down to $21,097. The tax rate is 5.5%. Find out what the tax amount is going to be and what the total price of that car is going to be. So how much am I going to be paying in taxes? Anybody find out the tax? Gage, what did you get there for the tax? What's that? 1,160. Did you get any change on that? So it was 0.335. We're dealing with money, so we're going to take that and we're going to round it up one. So $1,160.34. That is perfect. Nice job, Gage. That is not my final amount. That is just the tax. So to find the total price of that car, I'm going to take my $21,097 and add it to my tax, $1,160.34. So in my calculator, 21,097 gives me $22,257.34. A lot of times you hear parents, grandparents, adults complaining about taxes. You don't hear a lot of kids complaining about taxes. I mean, like not you guys, but like younger than you guys, like kids who just spend their money on like candy and maybe sodas and that kind of stuff. The amount that you're paying in taxes for a soda or things like that is a very small amount. When you start buying big dollar items, you start paying a lot of taxes. Over $1,000 in just taxes. This is going to the government. That's it. You're just paying the government money. That's a big dollar amount to not get anything for it. So that's why you see a lot of people complaining about taxes, is because that is such a significant number. And that's 21,000. I know a lot of stuff costs a lot more than it. Once you start buying houses, multiple cars, you're starting to buy like pools for the house, you're starting to buy boats, you're starting to buy like really expensive stuff. All of those amounts add up to be a lot of money. There were some issues with online buying, like Amazon. There were some issues, or even like Craigslist. There were some issues about like buying things from other states and how you should be taxed, because that tax rate is from city and state. So if I'm buying from Amazon, what state am I buying from? And then I think the way that they resolved that was whatever city you're having it shipped to is the rate that you're paying for. I think is how they determine that. Let's look at our banking system. Interest equals the rate, or I'm sorry, the principal times the rate times the time. So we got a bank, and we got you. You're all excited because you got money for Christmas. And mom and dad tell you to save your money, so you put it in the bank. You take all your dollar bills and put them into the bank. And at the same time you're doing that, millions and millions of people around the world are also doing the same thing. So the bank is filling up with money. But it's not their money, it's your money. If you go to the bank and say, I want my money back, they're going to give you your money back. There's nothing they can do about it. They have to. If they don't have it, the government they're insured by the government. The United States of America pays you. So it doesn't matter if the bank gets robbed. It doesn't matter if it burns down. It doesn't matter what happens to the bank. You will always get your money back. The way that the bank makes money is by loaning it to people. So this is a guy here. He wants to buy his first car. He doesn't have a lot of money. So in order to get a car, he goes to the bank. And the bank gives him some money and says, here you go, you can have some money to buy your car. When the bank gives him money, he has to pay the bank back more money than what he borrowed. He has to pay a rate on that. The bank takes that money that they earned from this person, and as a thank you for letting you use their money, they give you a little bit of money back. That's called an interest rate. So it kind of goes in both directions. You put money into the bank gives your money to other people. Those other people pay the bank back, and then the bank pays you a little bit of extra money for letting you use it. So the more times that this happens, bank gives a little bit of money away, then this person pays back more money than what they borrowed. The more money the bank makes. The interest rate is what helps them to get people to put money into it. So if I got a bank that'll pay me more money to use my money, I'll go to that bank. In this formula, there's the interest rate. The interest rate is the amount that the bank will pay you or the amount it charges you. Remember that this goes in two directions. If you are the one borrowing money, you have to pay the money back. That's the amount of money that you pay back is the interest. When you give the money bank, the bank is paying you back. The amount that they pay you back is called the interest. The principal is the amount you save or borrow from the bank. The principal is this amount right here. It's the amount that you're putting into the bank, or it's the amount that you're borrowing from the bank. So it's the money coming out. Oops. The interest rate is the percent that you're paying back of the amount that you borrowed. It's also the percent of what you put in getting paid back. If you're borrowing money, you want the interest rate to be very low because you don't want to have to pay back very much money. If you're putting money in the bank, you want the interest rate to be high so that the bank is paying you a lot of money. And then there's the time. And the time represents the years the money is in the bank. Interest equals the principal times the rate times the time. All right, so let's do an example of our interest rate. Let's put $800 in the bank. So you take all your money that you earned from Christmas, let's say it's $800, not too bad. Let's put all our $800 into a savings account at a 4% annual interest rate. And we're going to leave it in there for, let's go 5 years. So we put $800 in the savings account. There's a 4% annual interest rate, and we leave it in there for 5 years. So we put in $800. The bank is going to use it. They're going to lend it out. They're going to get money back on it. They're going to do all this stuff. And every single year, they're giving you 4% back. Every single year, they're giving you 4% back. In order to figure it out, we're going to use our interest equals our principal times our rate times our time. The interest is what we're trying to figure out. We're trying to figure out how much is the bank going to pay us back. So we take the principal, which is the amount we save or borrow. So we saved $800. So our interest is going to equal our $800 times the rate. The rate that it's being paid back is 4% annually. So every year it's 4%. Make 4% into a decimal, 0.04. Just move it over 2 places. And we multiply that by the number of years it was in there, which is 5. So in our calculator, we do 800 times 0.04 times 5. So the interest is $160. So we did nothing. We didn't have to do a single thing. We put $800 in the bank, and in 5 years, we made $160. We didn't do anything. We went to the bank one time, and then 5 years later, we have $160.